Kalimera, Jambo, where is the energy level? So as you've heard, my name is Fred Simiyu. Your Excellencies, all protocol observed. Due to time, we'll just go straight to the presentation. But before we start, I would like just to appreciate the presentation from the Convention Bureau visitors for Athens, because it is connected with what we are going to take you through. As you all understand, Kenya right now is a country full of opportunities, and we appreciate what is happening in Europe. You have the products, but we have the market. So that synergy is what we need to leverage on, and our presentation will actually show you or highlight the opportunities that you need to tap. And just before I even get into the presentation, from already this presentation, you've heard one thing. If Richard Branson can actually decide to invest in Kenya, what does that tell you? I think in America they say, if Warren Buffett buys the shares of a particular company, you just see an upsurge because he makes a decision based on facts. So we are here to show you a destination that will change your lives and change your investment. So come to the destination Kenya for the market. Thank you. Could you just enter?
Before starting the presentation, I would like once more to stress the importance of the Kenyan market of 40 million, actually of 140 million people, since these countries have formed an open market.
Right.
So it's a very important market, actually.
Thank you. I think you've just seen the convention center. I'll take you through the presentation on Meetings Kenya. And Meetings Kenya is actually the brand that we are going to use to promote Kenya as a business tourism platform. And it's almost synonymous to what you've seen on Athens Convention and Visitors Bureau, but it's actually geared towards promoting the entire destination Kenya. I'll just take you through the presentation as time is limiting so that you can actually appreciate what it is. I think in Kenya, just as Greece, mice is a developing sector. And for those who don't know the meaning of mice, it's not a rodent, it's not a rat, but it is, or it stands for meetings, incentives, exhibitions, conferences, and exposition or exhibitions, even events. Events like Olympics, that's what we are coming to benchmark about, are actually organized through the Visitors Bureau, and we do believe that it's an avenue also that Kenya can tap in when it comes to this business. It's a very fastest growing segment in the tourism sector. Actually, worldwide, it grows 22% year-on-year growth. So this is a sector that we are sure is the avenue for future growth, or it's what we can actually call the next big thing. MICE, advantages of Kenya as a sustainable MICE destination. It's very competitive in the location. We have a number of airlines that actually come to the destination. And also, in addition, we do have a very good hub. That is, if you look at the hub, Kenya, it's easy to access. And you have an all-year weather around that you can actually have meetings from the destination. MICE as a sector is actually driven by tech savvy and fast-moving demand. And this requires also supply to be in place. You realize that in Kenya, just like you've seen in Greece, you have quite a number of convention centers. In Kenya, we have one purpose-built convention center, and that does not meet the demand. The supply does not meet the demand, and we want that gap to be mitigated by the construction of various convention centers in various cities that I'll be highlighting as you go across. You realize that Europe is still leading when it comes to MICE, followed by North America, and Asia is actually catching up with 18% of the market share. But the next big thing, which is the exotic market that actually shows very potential in growth of this segment, is actually Africa. And there are quite a number of attributes that will lead to that, and I just want to highlight a little bit that Greece, yes, could have been the land of philosophers, could have been the land of Aristotle and Archimedes, but Kenya happened to be the origin of these people. So the first meeting took place in Kenya before they decided they should walk all the way to Greece. So we believe all meetings will definitely get back there if we put the right infrastructure to tame that or to tap in that demand. I'd also like to take you through a bit of info on infrastructure. Our sister from EPC, that is Ruth and Muridi, have actually shown you quite a lot of developmental progress on Kenya when it comes to infrastructure. We have the roads. And as they normally say, infrastructure comes before development, or infrastructure comes before investment. In Kenya, right now, we have a very good road network. We have the airport that has been put in place. And we do feel like in destinations that I'll actually take you through, like Mombasa, we do have the bed capacity, but there is a big gap in that we do not have the convention facilities. And also cities like Kisumu, which you'll actually see on the map on their location. So Kenya, as you are all aware, is actually the entry point to East Africa, and we are very happy that Greece and Kenya happen to be on the Indian side of ocean, and the connectivity is very easy on cruise or whether on air. It's actually very easy. We have direct flights. So the time differential, if you're coming to a conference in Kenya, is only 1 hour. And I'll actually show you also a map that denotes the ease of connectivity if you compare south of Africa. And remember the word, it's not South Africa, it's south of Africa. So when you're talking about Kenya or entering Kenya, you'll actually get an entry point to most of Africa and wider Central Africa region. Our minister is actually in charge of the East Africa Community Market that commands roughly 120 million. So you'll not only be accessing the Kenyan market, but you'll be tapping into the wider East African market. And that's why the issue of exhibitions comes into play. As Greek investors, it's time you came for exhibitions in Kenya, and I'm very proud to say that I've actually met quite a number who are coming for the building exhibition that should give you a leverage to get into that market. Please, Sylvia, first, you have to go back. Something else that I would like also to highlight is that we are a very safe destination. And when it comes to safety, the minister did highlight one thing. Let's not take it from the media, because once you see an attack at a mall, let's not put it as a blanket in the country. It's a very safe destination, and I'm very happy to say that just in the past 3 weeks, we've had the International Water Association Conference in Kenya that brought over 2,000 delegates. We've also had a scientific conference, that is the World Lung Association Conference, that also brought 1,500 delegates at the same period or the same week that everything was happening. So that shows you it's a very safe destination, and isolated incidents shouldn't be taken to cover the entire blanket country. On the issue of connectivity, you'll see that we have a main flag carrier, that is our airline called Kenya Airways. And Kenya is actually that small center place. You can see if you want to penetrate Africa, that is the point of entry. And we have connectivity all the way to Sydney, Guangzhou, Hong Kong, and all that. So the only missing link there is Greece. So once it's actually included, we should have more traffic between the countries, and we can have meetings all through. Move on. We are proud to actually highlight a number of key successes. We've hosted over 350 international conferences, or we host over 350 international conferences annually. That's an average. We also host over 40,000 international delegates annually. This compared to Greece is very small, but remember we only have one convention center. If we have to put the coastal one and up Kisumu one, and the next one in Nairobi to meet the demand with an exhibition center, the numbers will actually skyrocket. And also a very key element that I would like to share with you is that Kenya right now is ranked #2 in Africa, ICA rankings, when it comes to international meetings. And we did host 29 meetings against the leading 89 in Africa. And we want to close this gap by investing in this sector. At the moment, we share with the Vision 2030 because we've aligned our goals into that. And our first instance is to construct, or goal is to construct the various convention centers in the cities of Nairobi, You have Mombasa, Kisumu, and the resort city that has been actually spoken about by my peers will be captured in Isiolo, which is a town up north Kenya. We're also looking at working on enhancing our convention center, increasing the capacity of KICC through modernization and placement of an hotel, and also implementing the MICE strategy that has been developed to grow this segment. First one. These are the figures. I think from just the trend, I'll just say we have good growth, an average of like 60% growth, year in, year out. So that's a market that you should look into. It's actually, our average growth is higher than the international one. Move on. This is just what I told you about ICA ranking. We control or we command 10% of the African market. So there is much room for growth with mega investment in this sector. Our projection for the next 5 years is to place bids for 200 international conferences that actually have shown interest in that particular region, and Kenya does qualify. We want to host 180 international conferences between that period, and also elevate the number of delegates from the 40 to 300,000 within the 5-year period. Where are the opportunities that we want to market to you? I think they're very commonplace. Greece is known for construction. Would want to partner with you on private-public partnerships on the creation and expansion and modernization of the existing and also new convention centers. We also want to move into the various cities that I've shown you. That is Mombasa, Nairobi, and Kisumu. Eldoret is a great athlete city. It was actually talked about. Would want not only camps, but also sports-related meetings to be actually hosted there. Greece is very strong on the convention bureau. Would want to get some learnings out of it as we implement ours, because we are in a very, like, at the product life cycle, we'd say we are at the growth stage and would want to be taught a little bit of learnings from Greece. We appreciate that you have Megaron at Athens International Convention Centre, and also you actually hosted 114 association meetings, that is last year. Compared to ours, there are a lot of learnings we can get so as to leverage on that strength, and I'm happy that our colleague is here from the Convention Bureau, so we'll have to share that aspect so that we can actually tap on that knowledge. All of it is actually aimed at building capacity within the convention bureaus that we're actually forming on the ground. Those are the cities that I was telling about. If you've seen, Mombasa is at the coast. Kisumu is at the second largest freshwater lake in the world. That is Lake Victoria. It's just on the up. So that brings the East Africa connectivity easily and enhances trade between Uganda and Tanzania. So that's a very good point that we'd want also to place a convention center. Just move on. I've highlighted this aspect of cooperation that we need to work on. Move on to the second page. So where do we need a little bit of leverage? I think when it comes to bidding, we want to work closely with Greece to not only learn, but also when it comes to associations. Kenya has a number of 100 associations that are actually based in Nairobi. We would want to work with Greece to not only tap on that potential in conferencing, but also assist us leverage on marketing Kenya to various international conferences. So that's a partnership that we'd like to grow. And also, I did talk about exhibitions. I'm sure that Greece products need to be seen to that market. Please use this opportunity to come and showcase your products in Nairobi, and we'll provide you the platform to do that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.